Hey everyone, this is Just Being Me. Give me one moment and we're going to go ahead and get everything started. Let's go. Hey speakers, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So go ahead and like and subscribe and let's get started. Hey all my speakers, how's everyone doing this evening? Hopefully everyone has had a terrific Tuesday thus far. I know it's coming up towards the end, but hopefully everyone has had a good day. But anywho, as you can see on the thumbnail, we'll be kind of discussing some things concerning with Miss Van, as well as Melody Cherie and her feelings towards the scene that we saw on the previous episode, as well as we'll kind of go over those ratings. Now, I dropped a video earlier. If you had not had a chance to see it, it was in reference to what do you feel is the future for Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you had not had a chance to watch that, please go back after this video and take a look at that and comment below and let me know what do you feel will be the future for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, from what I was able to see, now I finally got a chance to kind of look at the tweets that Melody had put out on Saturday during the episode. And I kind of wanted to touch bases on that because, she's kind of making it clear that this wasn't how this was supposed to have went. And again, as I mentioned in my previous video, a lot of the scenes and the highlights of the party and probably the reasoning as to why Melody agreed to film was to highlight the family time, her daughter's birthday party. And instead, we got to see a lot of the riffraff in the drama. So on the very first tweet that we see, let's see here. Let me start here. She first goes on to say, not the father of the year who missed Milani's first birthday because you were, I guess, expecting the one you created during the pandemic a few months after I had Milani. Then she goes on to tweet, it has already been proven in court that you missed their birthday party last year, even though you were invited, proven in court, and instead was in Atlanta, proven in court. Not you thinking you Mr. Perfect. Child, I had a whole combo a week before, a day before, and the day of saying you're not welcome to come. Now, saying all that to say, let's go back up to the top where she said, okay, the father of the year who missed Milani's first birthday because you were, I guess, expecting the one you created during the pandemic a few months after I had Milani. So saying that to say you wasn't even there for your child's first birthday because of what we know is to be Knox. I mean, but now here it is. Now you're barging your way in. Then it was also proven in court, she stated, that you missed the party last year, even though you were invited because you were in Atlanta. So make it make sense as to why all of a sudden now you feel as though these are times that you need to be a part of. Was it the need to be a part of the actual event because that is the best interest for your child, or were you just scoping out to see who was all invited? Then you go on and she stated that she told you on several occasions You were not welcome to come. So again, why would you backdoor and show up to an event that you knew potentially could ruin your children's day? I mean, to me, that is selfish. And again, yet you doing what you always do. Think of yourself and no one else. She also goes on to say that the kids were inside the skating rink the entire time and didn't even have to know what happened, except he texted them talking about your mom put me out. So I take that as you really, really trying to play male against the kids. Like you wanted to make it seem like she's the bad wolf and don't want you there, when all along you knowing the reason as to why you weren't invited. You know this already, but now you're finna go down this road of trying to turn the kids against their mother. Why would you text them that when you knew very well the reason as to why you wasn't invited? Then she goes on to say, you came with your aunt and cousin, and she tried to step in. That's when my mom said, you don't have anything to do with this. To her, another invited guest. Then he begun to yell at my mother, and my aunt stepped in, shoot, pulling up with a damn team. Okay, you brought your aunt and your cousin for what? Did they come as backup? Because you knew already you wasn't invited. So you knew that things could kind of go sideways or go left. So what did you mean by having your aunt and your cousin there? Did you think that by Mel seeing them that she would change her mind? Did you bring them there to have your back in case things got ugly? You rather them to argue with her versus you because of the situation you're in with the custody battle? What was your point of bringing two other uninvited guests to the birthday party? And then she goes on to say, Lord, I was trying so hard to keep my family calm, meaning her family was ready to go. They was ready to go off on you. And I don't know if anybody else seen it, but she went live and we seen her cousins. She took pictures, it's on her Instagram. They don't look like they were back down to Martell. And then she goes on to say, literally, just said, you haven't invited me to my daughter's birthday party. So who else want to keep saying I invited him? Meaning, y'all could stop that with the narrative. She invited him. She has made it very clear that she did not invite them. She also, said numerous times that she had even told production he was not welcome at that party. But yet and still, as I stated in my previous video, they had almost everything except for the red carpet rolled out for him when he got there. Had him a parking spot saved, also had camera ready for him, mic'd up, everything for when he came in, so they can highlight this scene for the views. Not thinking of the best interest of the children, not thinking about what all of this, how this could affect the children in the long run. All of that. And I know she stated they were inside. Now the picture that they kind of captured of I think it was Boss Baby, where she was turning around kind of looking, um and looked as though she was looking in the direction of her dad. I don't know if she caught a glimpse of him or if she was looking at something else, but it almost seems as though these children are being placed in the middle where they're having to almost like choose a side. And that is so wrong. You should never do that. On top of the fact, again, she highlighted and clarified that Miss Van was the person that you were actually hollering at. How would you feel if Melanie was to get in Miss Marlene face and holler at her? Like, that is so out of line. This is a lady that even after everything you have done to her daughter, still offer grace to you, congratulated you on several times of, any accomplishments or anything that you have tried to do after the divorce. She have always tried to, show grace to you, and yet and still you choose her to holler all up in her face. And then for you to be saying she has nothing to do with it or however, that's just absolutely wrong. In 9 times out of 10, Ms. Van was probably trying to calm the situation because she didn't want it to get out of hand to where the children was made known of what was actually transpiring right there at the birthday party. But again, you thinking only of yourself and not the children who you claim is the most important. You only thinking of Martell and your selfish reasons because she even offered for you to come and get the kids after the party and you chose not to. So how important was it? How important was it for you to have the children if even if she extended an offer for you to come get them, even though it wasn't even your weekend to have them? But she also, she offered that you could come and see them after, and you chose not to. So it couldn't have been that important. Did you tell the children that? Probably not. But anywho, yeah, that was kind of her feelings on that. And pretty much in my previous video, I kind of expressed how I felt about the whole deal and how I, in my opinion, feel as though production really, they just, to me, wasn't thinking of the children when it came to any of this. I just felt that it didn't, the children's best interest wasn't at hand because this is something that potentially could have been made known to the children. The children could have been in eyesight or earsight of, hearing what was going on and transpiring between their mother and the father. What child wants to witness that? Especially at their birthday party with their friends there, supposed to be celebrating. But now here we go. We have the grown-ups over here ready to tear the whole skating ring down because one of them wasn't invited. And he is very aware of why he wasn't invited. It would be totally different if you didn't know the reason, but you know very well why you weren't invited. So now moving on, Melody also kind of made mention also in those same particular tweets for the night as to Miss Van. And pretty much what Melody is saying is they have cut out a lot of scenes that would have originally included her mother. So she stated, so point blank period, ain't gonna be no everybody's mama on the show except the mother of the person who had the dream and the vision. And she hashtag LAMH, hashtag on Mary and her little lamb, meaning period, point blank. You heard it, you see it, what's up? She goes on to say, and why were all of my mother's scenes cut out? Because I definitely know she was standing next to Malia when we sang happy birthday, and she was also very present in the BS outside of the rink. Hashtag LAMH. Like y'all really didn't even show my other daughter. So this goes to say right now, Mel is not, she doesn't appreciate the fact that you cut out her mother, you cut out her other daughter, which was very well probably the daughter that was also included in this birthday party. You cut all that out, but made sure you showed again all the drama that took place, but you didn't show any of the other side or the highlights of what was really going on. And she stated it in a tweet that had she known that this would have went this way, she would not have agreed to film at all, because this wasn't a part of the plan. Who uses their children for drama? It just seems as though you pushed on this idea, highlight your children's birthday party, to make it sound all good, like we're going to be highlighting you and your children, but then you slipped Martell in there on the cool because you knew that it would bring drama and it would capture more views, which to me, it didn't capture too many views because, yeah, it went up a little bit more than what it was the previous week, but it's still at 281,000 views, which is not a lot at all. Not a lot at all. Now, this season's high is 353,000, and that was episode 2. So we on episode 5 now, and you're sitting at 281,000. That's not a good look for this show. So again, it goes back to the question at hand that I asked earlier. What is the future for the show? Because it seems as though the numbers are steady dwindling down. You show a little capture, the preview for the week, and it may be something a little interesting. People may tune in just to see that portion, but then after that, they're not interested in seeing it. because again, everyone else pretty much on this show ain't got no motion, don't have nothing going on. I guarantee you the only reason people tuned in this episode was because they seen the highlights of what was transpiring between Martell and Melody, and everybody wanted to know who he was hollering at and what actually happened. Had that scene not been highlighted, these views probably would have been another season's low yet again. I mean, it's not doing what it's supposed to do at all to say it's a number one show. As I stated again in my previous video, I think that either they need to do a cast shakeup and totally redo this whole show, or this show might not have a future, because as of right now, with the cast that they have, everyone has already showed their true colors, already shown, and right now what you're showing us is coming across as fake. You have a meeting, you tell everyone they have to get along and you have to do this to try to, bring everything back together, but it's looking fake. And now that we know that you're cutting scenes and all of this, and to me, in my opinion, you're cutting scenes with Miss Van because why? Because maybe someone else's mother is no longer being highlighted on the show. Not to say she might not be captured in a couple of scenes or however, but to soften the blow to somebody else, you want to cut as much of Miss Van as possible to appease somebody else. Is that it? Because if she's at her granddaughter's party and she is a part of this show, why would you cut her scene out? I mean, make it make sense. So are you trying to soften the blow of someone else because they're not going to be highlighted as much, if at all? And so we're just going to show the very little of her as possible? Who y'all playing with? It's like y'all playing in people's face, and it's not good at all. And I don't know what production is thinking about, but you're really, really hurting the integrity of this whole entire show. It's really just, I don't know. I really don't even really know what to think thus far, because this is the numbers. It's in the numbers. It's in black and white. You can't even get a decent audience to tune in to watch this. Majority of the people that's still keeping up with Love and Marriage Huntsville is keeping up because of YouTube and bloggers. A lot of people are not even tuning in to watch the show, even with Melody doing everything short of begging people to watch, because again, it does help and it supports her. But at the same time, a lot of people just can't even stomach half the things that's transpiring on this show. So, with that being said, what really do you have left? Again, the same thing with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's a way bigger network. But even with, Real Housewives of Atlanta, people really just wasn't checking for that too much more. But they're going to check for it this season because Martell is on it. And so everybody's nosy and trying to see what's going on over there. But even with their numbers struggling, they're going to still keep going because it is that is a very popular show. Regardless, I mean, it's on a bigger platform. It's a very popular show, but a show such as Love and Marriage Huntsville that haven't gotten the numbers and haven't did what you looking at the Real Housewives of Atlanta doing, they can't afford to take these type of numbers and still be able to thrive. So in order for this train to keep going, they're gonna have a cash shakeup, do something, because this ain't working. Even with the meetings, even with the fake get back together type thing, something need to happen. And then upcoming again, this current episode, or this episode that's coming up this week, I guess that's what we'll see. Betty, they didn't cut her scene out. I want to see how much she's gonna be showed. Since you cutting Miss Van out, I'm pretty sure you still gonna have Betty on there saying what I'm telling people to shut up. See, you love to broadcast and show drama, but you don't want to show anyone that's still, trying to maintain herself, because we all know Miss Van has never came across rude. She's never came across as what I would want to say ghetto. She's never did any of that. So I guess being that she doesn't have enough drama-filled scenes, you choose not to show that. I guess she got to get loud and get the cursing and pushing up mess in order for her to get seen. Because again, we'll see Stormy's mom come this upcoming episode where she's at the tea party where everything is supposed to be about respect, but you telling people to shut up. Now, again, I don't know what's going to happen throughout that whole scene, but I do know you told somebody to shut up. That's enough. I wouldn't be able to hear nothing else you had to say after shut up. That would have been it. But again, I feel as though they're not highlighting Miss Van as much because she don't bring the drama. And everybody is not about that because originally this is what this show was not supposed to be like that. You have some cast members that need to go and audition for Zeus versus being on OWN. I mean, for real. I'm not kidding. But anyways, y'all, that was pretty much all I had for this evening. It was a short video. I just wanted to kind of go over those things and go over the ratings. Again, comment down below and let me know how you feel about all of this, why you think that they're cutting the scenes on Miss Van, as well as how do you feel about production and how they kind of highlighted the girl's birthday party, as well as let me know about these ratings. Have y'all been tuning in? Are you just waiting to get the recaps and reviews? I mean, let me know. And again, if you haven't watched my previous video that I dropped this morning in reference to the future of Love and Marriage Huntsville, please go watch that for me. And again, that should be it. Now, if you have not liked the video already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notification bells so you'll be notified whenever another video is uploaded. And y'all have a good night.